What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Guys Talking About Shit podcast, commonly referred to as the GTAS podcast, being recorded on Sunday, April 15th, 2018. I'm your host, Bob Roos, and I'm here with my co-host, the always droll Adam Miller.
Wow, droll? Damn.
Yeah, you got that one this week.
Roasted today.
Oof, I know. Adam, how about our little intro now we got going there?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Either that's going to stay like that, or we're probably just going to switch that around. I don't know. I just thought that was a...
Oh, yeah, that was a good
I felt like that was,
lead-in.
yeah, I think that's pretty much sums up our show pretty much evenly.
Yeah. So our podcast, this is episode 21.
This is episode 21.
Our podcast can legally drink now.
Yeah. Holy shit. That's pretty insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean, our last one was just kind of all over the place, but we still got a little bit to go before we beat our old record, which I think was like 34?
32, I think.
32. Is that including not the ones recorded, or are you just talking about the official ones?
Oh, no, in terms of releases?
Yeah, releases.
27 is our record.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay, so we can catch up to that. We'll catch up to that very soon. But Adam, what's been up with your week? Anything interesting this week happened with you?
Not particularly, no. Just again, working my ass off.
I was
102 hours this pay period.
I was pretty beat at work on Friday. Whenever I left, I was getting all the shit off my hands, cleaning up, and I threw some water in my face, and I look, and I'm like, oh my god, the hell happened to me? Like my eyes had black underneath them, like not dirt, but like sunken in. I looked like I had gotten punched in the fucking eye. It was bad. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Am I that exhausted? I was pretty drained, and I went up to one of my coworkers. I'm like, does it look like I got punched in the face? He's like, kind of. What happened? I'm like, I think I'm just exhausted this week. And I mean, it has been a pretty exhausting week for me. But I went and saw A Quiet Place on...
I've heard that's pretty good.
Thursday. I'm going to honestly say, it was one of the coolest theater experiences I've ever done. Because by the end of it, my stomach was hurting from being so tensed up. It's tense. The whole theater is just dead silent. There's almost no talking in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's all just sound, and I feel the movie doesn't market itself. It's in an alien movie. It doesn't really kind of play itself off as that, but it's all about these aliens that hunt by sound alone. They're blind. So any noise, they just come and rip you to shreds. For a PG-13 movie, it's pretty terrifying. I mean, I loved it. I think that's my favorite movie this year. That beats out Black Panther, and it beats out Ready Player One right now. And I've seen a good amount this year.
And that was written by, what's his name, John
Krasinski.
Krasinski.
It was written and directed by him. And he stars in it with his wife, Emily Blunt. She's amazing. I mean, he's really good in it too, and all the kids are really good in it too, but she is just... There's a whole scene that is just all based around facial. Because there's a situation, not going into spoilers, there's a situation where she is just all by herself, and it is all just her. And she just kills it. She kills that scene. So, Emily Blunt, my God.
I was surprised to hear that he was behind this, because most people know him for playing Jim in The Office.
Or playing I think he's an insurance voice or something on those lines. But I mean, hey, Jordan Michael Peele did that Get Out, and he directed that, and he like co-wrote that, I believe. He might have fully wrote it. I'm not sure. But
That's
I mean,
true.
but talent. I mean, talent is talent.
Yeah, some people are multi-talented.
Yeah, you just never know. Like, I would never have thought Jim from The Office would be anything. And I remember he was trying to kind of break out of The Office and do movie roles, and just all the movies he was
getting
doing.
kind of typecasted, I feel like.
Yeah, because he was doing, like, he did that movie Leatherheads with George Clooney, that, like, old school football movie that was just terrible.
That movie, License to Wed.
With Robin Williams and Mandy Moore, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he did 13 or 13th Hour. Michael Bay directed war movie, and I'll give Michael Bay credit. Michael Bay knows how to do war movies.
He knows how to do explosions.
Well, he knows how to do explosions, but Michael Bay, to his credit, is somebody who just fully appreciates and, like, loves the military. Yeah. And so he has a real eye for showing off how, like, important the military is to him. And so apparently that 13 Hours or whatever it was with John Krasinski in the lead was supposedly pretty good. And he's also going to be in a Jack Ryan Amazon show as Jack Ryan, which I was like sitting there, I'm like, really? And then I watched the trailer for it, and I'm like, it actually looks okay. So, hey, I mean, kudos to John Krasinski, because, yeah, he's clearly a lot more talented than I think everybody kind of thought he would be.
Yeah.
So, but, hey, Adam, you wanna start going into some topics today?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go into our first one, which is the Shenmue 1 and 2, announced for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, is coming out later this year.
Yeah.
I believe a Sega representative actually came out and said that it is going to be...
It's a remaster, not a remake.
Yes, it's a remaster. So it's just it's upgraphed. Let me see. There is a quote. They did announce that it is going to be $29.99, which is very surprising.
For both games.
I think a lot of people were expecting it to be $39.99 title. I mean,
some people in Shenmue 500K, the Facebook group that really pushed for this kind of stuff, they were expecting it to be a full $60 game. So
really,
yeah,
I would have found that kind of shocking, especially whenever you did that full remaster of Shadow Colossus was only like a $50 title. Wasn't that $39.99? Yeah, was it? I don't know. But either way, it wasn't it wasn't full 60. I know that.
No, it wasn't. I think the reason they expected that is because you got to think Shenmue at the time that it was developed was the most expensive game ever developed.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at it now, and it's
course it's clearly it shows its age, but you know, so those kinds of impressions don't really leave people, I guess.
So both you and I were contributors to the Kickstarter for Shenmue 3.
Yeah, and
to be honest, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I barely touched Shenmue 1 and 2. I appreciate them, but I didn't have it on the Dreamcast whenever I first had my Dreamcast, and it wasn't until I got into it a little later and I played around with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the story seemed really cool, and then Shenmue 2 I didn't even know existed until you told me that it was on the Xbox.
Yeah, that's the only way to get it in the United States.
So I think, honestly, this is going to be my first full-on diving into Shenmue world is going to be through this collection. Mm-hmm. And they are saying this is the quote-unquote best Shenmue experience to date. The compilation comes with a host of modern features, including fully scalable screen resolution, choice of modern or classic control schemes, PC graphic options, an updated user interface, and the option to enjoy either with the original Japanese or English voiceover. Was the English voiceover kind of goofy from what I remember?
Yeah, but it's goofy in a way that is enjoyable.
Kind of a charming.
Yeah.
It's not like House of the Dead.
No.
Bad.
It's like it's like Shaw Brothers films voiceovers.
Shaw Brothers?
Yeah, like the old Kung Fu movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember it being something on those lines, like seeing cutscenes everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at these, I mean, yeah, the backgrounds look like vomit, but I definitely see the cleaned up aspect of it.
Yeah, like it seems like they're using slightly higher resolution textures.
I think
they're not redoing the graphics.
No, I think redoing the game ground up would be kind of daunting, don't you think?
Yeah, because you got to think in that time period, that was one of the most like hyper detailed environments and one of the first open world 3D games that had ever been made.
Yeah, I remember it. Like it flopped, didn't it? Like they still
it didn't sell well in the United States. Yeah,
it sold well. But even if it's selling well over in Japan, it still didn't. It still was nothing. Like they could never make up that budget, even if it did do well. I think over here,
I think they did make up that budget because they obviously they greenlit a second one, but I think their sales expectations were probably higher than what they pulled in.
Yeah, this is.
But it's good to see this coming up because it's a really good game. It's very, very charming atmosphere. It's got an awesome story.
Its soundtrack is the one thing that I remember being like
amazing.
Listening to the soundtrack on like YouTube and being like, this is
really
just
it's
just relaxing.
Yeah.
And it's a really good soundtrack.
And if you're a fan of the Yakuza games or something like Sleeping Dogs, which was an open world game, from the PS3.
Oh, it's kind of Sleeping Dogs always felt like it would be like an homage to Shenmue and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll probably like these games, and playing these two will probably get you excited for the third one if this is your kind of thing. So
yeah, and I think it's smart that they didn't just do a full up remaster because they clearly are wanting to get this game out before
3 comes out.
Yeah, before 3. That's there wouldn't. I mean, I guess there would be an audience for it afterwards if you did. Release it afterwards,
most people do not just when there's 3 games. Most people don't just jump into number 3.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not
they want
something that's like self-contained, like the Assassin's Creed games.
Do you think that they're going to do like just kind of like throwing off? You think they're going to do anything with making 3 a little bit more approachable? Kind of like saying like here's like the backstory, so that people who have it, have to go through. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. Going through, 1 and 2 all the way through to be able to play 3. They clearly want this Shenmue game to appeal to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they're going to make it approachable and not make you have... Like, someone like me who's kind of familiar with it, but not enough to say, like, hey, I can jump into 3 and be like, hey, I know everything that's going on. I'm going to get caught up whenever these remasters come out because I'm going to definitely play this. But... I'm just wondering, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to do anything like that with making it a little more approachable for people? Or do you think they're just going to make it, hey, the fans clearly want this. We're making it kind of for these fans?
I mean, I think it'll be slightly more approachable. I mean, they're already talking about in the remaster to add a more modern control scheme.
Okay.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
That is something that it definitely... is one thing.
Well, because
the
game, the Dreamcast controller scheme just,
Yeah, the Dreamcast. I don't care what anybody says. The Dreamcast controller is just a terrible controller. I mean, it is an N64.
It's a good fighter controller, but it's not good for like anything else.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I kind of agree that
it's just big and unwieldy.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't like big controllers. You love the fucking huge ass Xbox controller.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Duke, but. But for the most part, no, I'm not the biggest like big controller. But I mean, I like the N64 controller, which you hate that. I like the Dreamcast controller, but I understand that it's not the greatest, especially for like games like Shenmue. But it works well enough for a game where you're going forward, mostly for like Sonic Adventure. Like it works for Sonic Adventure because that's mostly it's mostly jump and move forward. There's not a lot of options for that game there. So, and I was kind of like thinking, oh, well, another game that's kind of doing that same thing with Shenmue where I think that they're clearly adding an approachability to it is that new God of War, which is supposed to be fantastic, by the way. I think IGN just gave it a 10. And I think now this makes, I think it's less than 8 titles they've ever given a 10 to. But apparently, like, I never even noticed it, that the game's not even called God of War 4. It's just called God of War.
Yeah.
And I think it's making it approachable for people who maybe didn't play 1, 2, and 3, that it's not going to ignore it, but it's going to
There'll probably be callbacks for longtime fans.
Like winks and nods, but not, hey, you need to know that you might need to know that he killed Zeus, but that's it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Adam, going on to our next topic, and this probably is going to be the last time we talk about it. I don't see how we can go much further than this, but Twin Galaxies has officially removed Billy Mitchell's former Donkey Kong's high scores. So
can we play it like fucking 4th of July music and have fireworks sounds going on?
Because you're so done with hearing about Billy Mitchell?
Yeah. Okay, good. Like what we said is give him a chance to prove himself, and if he can't, strip him of his title.
Yeah.
And he couldn't prove himself, and they're stripping him of his title.
Yeah, so, apparently the ruling, which came after a really long arbitration process, they finally have confirmed that he was using an emulator. And so all of his records have been completely wiped, not just the Donkey Kong one. And there are even... The weird thing was, I kind of thought was, he did do the first perfect game of Pac-Man, but that's even been stripped away from him now because he was, It's kind of like...
They can't trust his results, basically.
I guess not. I guess that's how they have to do it. And so all of his... I don't think he really had any sponsorships or anything like that.
Yeah.
But any of his credibility is just completely gone out the window. It makes sense. But at the same time, I kind of was thinking, oh, well, we don't... I know a lot of people were sitting there saying, we don't trust the Donkey Kong source. But the Pac-Man one was, I think that was in front of, a crowd, and that he did this perfect score. I could be wrong. But, wow. Everything. His whole career, if that's what you call it. He could still sell hot wing sauce. I don't know if you know that, but that's what he did for, a side job. He sells,
Billy Mitchell
hot wing sauce. From what I actually heard it's actually kind of good. From what I was heard, I looked up reviews and people were actually hey, he's a shitty person, but he makes actually pretty decent chicken wing sauce. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are kind of shooken up by this in this realm of the world, the retro community, because this was a big icon in the world of arcade scores.
Even though it was either love or hate, there was
even if it was love or hate. But he was clearly given an opportunity. He either could not do it or just kind of was whatever. But I think he's been banned from Twin Galaxies altogether, from competition, anything like that. So, Billy Mitchell's pretty much done. And so they decided to talk to...
I think we talked about this last time, about how this might actually be good for the community, because this will give a chance for newer people to get their name.
Yeah. Well, what we were saying was, I was listening to Pat the NES Punk's podcast, the Completely Unnecessary podcast, and he made a suggestion that I was like, man, that's actually a really good idea, which was they should just take any of these arcade games from a certain point and just erase it. And then let the people who either had already done it do it again, or let other people try, and then maybe it would encourage some more people to try to beat these scores. But no, they just wiped off his. But because his scores got wiped out, his competitor in the documentary King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters, Steve Wiebe, I can't remember. I think it's Steve Wiebe. But he was at one point the guy who was going to try to beat Billy Mitchell's top million score.
Yeah. And
he eventually did. And then Billy Mitchell sent in a tape. According to the documentary, there's a lot of people say with documentaries there's fixing and stuff like that. But apparently he sent in a tape that showed him beat even higher than that score. So officially now, Steve Wiebe is now known as the first person to ever beat over a million score on Donkey Kong. And so they talked to him about what he thought about Twin Galaxy completely banning him from the record boards and everything like that. Guinness Book of World Records follows Twin Galaxy whenever they have their information put in their book, so he's been wiped from that. So here's what Steve Wiebe had to say. He said, "The more I thought about it from the King of Kong days, it all seemed to make sense now. All the things that were happening at the time, like why he didn't come out and play me, and why he was inciting whose records were going to be authenticated and whose were going to be dropped. King of Kong referenced that he was a referee on the board of directors when that leaked out. It started to make more sense," he said. "I'm not the champ anymore, but getting recognition for being the first to 1 million is a great consolation. That's what I was really bummed out about 11 years ago." Yeah, because he got the record, got his name on there, and then Billy Mitchell sent in a tape, and then like not even, I think, hours after he had done it, he got his score completely knocked out by Billy Mitchell. And Steve Wiebe seemed like a really nice guy. And it says, "Billy will have his turn to say something in response, but for now, I'm just in awe." And at this point, Mitchell hasn't responded on the matter, and he's likely preparing some kind of official statement or even possibly legal action considering what's gone down. So, I mean, it's
don't bother with illegal action, dude.
Yeah, I think
you have absolutely no standing here. This is a fucking, like, Hall of Fame. They can do whatever they want with their business.
Yes, exactly. They're not going to... Like, if they think that you're cheating...
Yeah. If they catch you picking your nose and they decide they don't want nose pickers on their board, they can wipe you off.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. Like, don't waste your fucking time, Billy. That's fucking stupid.
Yep, I agree. I just... Yeah. It's been a long... what do you think, Adam? This is our closing chapter, I think, on it. I don't think we're going to be having any more Billy Mitchell things.
No, I don't think we will either.
What do you think about that? You learned about this whole world that people actually give a shit about.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I knew that there was people out there that still cared about these records and everything, but like...
You didn't know.
I didn't realize how intense that some people took it. A lot of people were very offended by our first...
Billy Mitchell comment thing. Just because we were saying like, hey, I mean, if he's got the opportunity to prove himself, let him prove himself.
And they're like, fuck,
whoa,
Billy Mitchell's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we never said he wasn't a piece of shit. We just said that if he can prove himself, that let him prove himself. Twin Galaxies gave him that chance, and he was unable to do so, and he was stripped of his records, and we all agree with that outcome.
Yeah.
If you don't...
I don't know what you want us to say.
Yeah, I don't know what you want us to say. But
I mean, it's just, hey, we never said that he was innocent. We never said that he was guilty. We just said, I mean, innocent till proven guilty. And apparently, he's been proven guilty.
Yeah.
So all those who are happy to see Billy Mitchell fall and all those who were telling us to go fuck ourselves on the first video, hey, whatever. I mean, it's...
The results are out of our hands. We just report them.
Pretty much. That's all. So, well, R.I.P. Billy Mitchell in the video game world. I mean, I don't wish death upon Billy Mitchell, but nobody wants a cheater. Nobody likes a cheater.
Nobody really liked him anyways.
Nobody liked him as a winner either.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, nobody liked him as a winner either, and the people are definitely not going to like him now that he's been unable to prove himself, not to be a fraud. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, Adam, moving on from that and going on to our next topic, which is the Mega Man X Legacy Collection is coming out this summer.
Yes!
It's coming out in 2 collections, Collection 1 and Collection 2, and will both be available on July 24th. The first collection including Mega Man X, X2, X3, and X4, and while the second will have X5, 6, 7, and 8. Adam, you clearly are excited about this. Why are you so excited about this?
Because Mega Man X through X6 are fucking amazing games.
Yeah? Not a big fan of 7 and 8? Those the PS2 ones?
Yeah, those are the 3D ones that just weren't very... not very intuitive controls, not very well made or well polished.
So you're not a fan of the original X-Men. X-Men. Wow. Got my mind on the brain now. We were at a comic book store a little earlier today. Mm-hmm. But Mega Man X Collection. You're not a big fan of Mega Man, the classic.
I don't hate it. It seems overrated to me. It doesn't hold up for me.
No?
No, playing Mega Man as a kid was awesome. Playing Mega Man as an adult, I'm like, why waste my fucking time when there's a better version?
You know what? In my circle of friends, which, you're obviously included in there, you are not the minority on that one. I think I might be the only one who probably prefers Mega Man 2 and 3 over X, but they're not bad games.
No.
I think I just...
No, I don't think any of the Mega Man games are...
No.
Well, I don't want to say I don't want to say that.
No.
I don't think the original Mega Man games are bad games.
Yeah.
I just don't like them as much as X.
No, I don't think there's any wrong opinion in that, because there are the fan base of that like the X and don't really fuck with the Mega Man OG collection. I don't really know what to describe them as. The original Mega Man. And I think the X collection seemed to like really hit a stride, because I think our age group pretty much grew up with the X collection. Because I think we were kind of like the Super Nintendo and 64 era. Yeah. So I think a lot of people recognize like Donkey Kong Country and stuff like that, but no one sits there and goes like, yeah, Mario Brothers 3 is the greatest game. Most people say
you got to realize, like, I was born in 89, so the Nintendo Entertainment System had been out for 4 years before I was even on this planet.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think that
there are games that I've played for the NES and that I really enjoy. Wampum is one of my most favorite games of all time.
That's a really great game.
But yeah, the original Mega Man just doesn't stay in
my NES was a hand-me-down, and so I had a Mega Man, I believe it was 2 or 3 that I had. You know, I had a couple. I had like DuckTales, Mario Brothers 3, shit like that. But when I got my Super Nintendo, I had that, and I had my Genesis, and so I would rent games from Blockbuster and all that. So, you know, I think just our age group is more familiar with the X collection, because I keep telling people about this collection, and they're like flipping shit about it.
Yeah, dude.
So,
awesome.
Both collections will be available digitally on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch for $20 a piece, or as a $40 retail bundle for the console version. The PS4 and Xbox One console bundles will include a disc for each collection, while the Switch one will have a cartridge for the first collection and a downloadable voucher for the second. Yeah, what do you think that's up with just those games like...
Okay, the Switch version is already off the table for me. If I had a Switch, it wouldn't be...
I'm actually really disappointed in that.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed in that. Why?
Because here's why. It's now fucking worthless as a resale. Like, if I bought that and if I needed money to trade it in, or I was done with it, you know, some people trade their games in. You can't.
Yeah,
you only get half the game then.
Yeah,
it has both on the cover. You can only get half of them.
Yeah,
it's fucking stupid.
I think that's so stupid. Why would they? They did that bullshit with Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, where Revelations 1 was on a cartridge, and then the other one was on a download voucher. And I was like, shit, I don't fucking want that. No. And I don't know why are they doing that? I mean, do you have any clue? Like, it's not, don't give me that bullshit that they can't fit there when you fit Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on one of those. Do they just view that it's not easy to port to a cartridge? What do you think?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with them not wanting to fucking put 2 cartridges in one box.
Is that kind of...
It may be the manufacturing cost.
And maybe, but you're telling me you still can't fit all that on... You can't fit those games onto one of those things? I just find
cartridge?
that... I just find that hard to believe.
I don't know, because, you know, those cartridges are proprietary, and I don't know what their capacity is off the top of my head, or, you know, who knows why they're doing that. But they could very easily put 2 cartridges in there, and instead of charging $60, charge $80, or whatever the cost differential is for including 2 cartridges.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes the PS4 and the Xbox One version just superior. Mm-hmm. And I kind of find that annoying. I really honestly do. And that was really bumming me out, because I really wanted the original collections on the Switch, because I say it almost every goddamn podcast, with the D-pad on the Switch is just superior to
Nintendo
the D-pad.
D-pads always are.
Yeah, they're just superior to the PlayStation ones, I believe. And I was hoping to possibly get all the Mega Man games onto my Nintendo, because that's where I played them originally. That's where I want them to be. But it looks like that it might just end up going to my PlayStation. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. All because of that dumb download voucher.
Yep.
And so...
Well, you do know, I think it's Mega Man X5, where like all the enemies are named after the...
Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I know. I love that shit. That's so cool to me. So the collection adds a new X Challenge mode that pits you against pairs of classic bosses. You can choose up to 3 weapons to take into battle with you, or challenge yourself with a Buster-only run. Leaderboards will help you gain bragging rights for your Maverick hunting abilities. And then each of the games in the collection has gotten some degree of visual polish, like optional smoothing and CRT filters for the sprite-based games, and 3D models getting sharpened for the later ones. Both collection will include the Day of... Do you know what that is? Like Day of M looking thing? I don't know what that logo is. That's a weird little logo.
Let me see.
What's this logo here? What
Sigma. Day of Sigma.
Day of Sigma?
Yeah, that's the Greek symbol for Sigma.
Oh, okay. Huh. A video that was originally included as part of the Maverick Hunter X on the Vita. Do you know what...
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah. It's like a 30-minute anime that is like a prequel story opening to Mega Man X.
Yeah, it says it tells the story leading up to the event. Both collections will also include the soundtracks for X, X2, and X3, and new remixes. Cool. Mega Man X has a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I think that's also completely reasonable, especially because these are only $20 a piece.
Yeah.
When Mega Man X3 just alone for the Super Nintendo, which I'm not familiar, possibly I think on the GameCube it got a port, but besides that...
Yeah, the X collection.
Yeah, but that's it. Probably runs about like $150 now, I believe.
Yeah, fuck that.
Let me check. I haven't checked this in a while, but eBay. I've had it for so long, but last time I got it, I bought my copy of Mega Man X3 for my Super Nintendo for $90. That was high. So
yeah.
Let's see, Mega Man, and it's a good collection. Like it's a good condition too. So let me see, a Mega Man X3. Holy fuck. Okay, I was definitely off on that. Let's see. Let's go for buy it nows, and let's do sold listings here. Let me go down.
By the way, this is a really good way to get your current market value on your game collection if you have one and you're looking to sell it.
Yeah.
Because the sold listings on eBay, especially if you sort them by most recent date, are the most accurate current market prices that you could probably find. Because that's what people are legitimately out there paying
for. Okay, you can't include that because that's a replaced label, which means it's a fake label. But that's sold for $179 for a cartridge with a fake reproduction label. You're looking probably for for a Mega Man X3, you're looking between $190 and $250.
Fuck that.
Yep. That is, holy shit, that is fucked in a half.
This is why I don't own any freaking Super Nintendo games.
Well, you know me. I was on that craze way before.
Yeah. All
that shit started going up. As I said, my best deal I've ever got was Demon's Crest for $9.
Yeah.
And now it's like a $150 title.
That is a pretty good deal.
So, very happy for this Mega Man X collection. Can't wait for them to actually confirm an actual date.
Yeah.
And then I can probably start working in getting the other collections, probably eventually for the PS4. Kind of sad about that, but they had to fuck up with that download voucher. Damn you. All right.
Well, yeah, but Mega Man X4 and everything after wasn't on Nintendo systems anyway. So
yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Maybe
that's a little like a compensation, kind of like, well, hey, they weren't on there anyway.
Yeah, but it's still
stupid because how long did that download voucher last? Like 3 years? That I hate that. It's so stupid. Also, yeah, it's completely worthless if like the Switch like store ever goes down.
Yep, or you decide that you want to sell the game, or if you want to let somebody borrow it, they can't play 4 of the games that are in the collection. I mean, stupid. It's stupid.
All right, Adam, going on into the next topic, which is that Grand Theft Auto 5 is reportedly the most profitable piece of media in history.
That's correct.
It is, even with adjusting with inflation and taking home video into account, which adds up to an estimated $3 billion. And that's the film market.
Yeah.
Microtransactions under its belt is now over $6 billion in revenue from 90 million units sold and years of the microtransactions. $6 billion. That is
Grand Theft Auto
insane.
5.
That is absolutely insane. And you got to realize it is still to this day
one of the best-selling games.
In the best-selling games, always on its system of choice.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you went back and looked up on the 360. If there's still games selling for the 360, I bet you Grand Theft Auto is still on that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does this surprise you, Adam, that it's made this much fucking money?
Yeah, the amount does. The fact that it's the most profitable piece of media in history doesn't surprise me.
It's launched in 2013.
Mm-hmm. And it's still going strong. It's 5 years later, people are still playing it. We still play it.
We still play it every once in a while, yeah.
They continue to add content to the game, like serious content additions to the online mode.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they have yet to add any new map space, which is fucking stupid, but that's all right.
I'm trying to think.
I'll get over it.
Market Watch and Kreutz explained that the continued success of Grand Theft Auto 5, largely bolstered by GTA Online and its microtransaction, is an anomaly for the game industry. It's insane. The rightly point out.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
This bodes well for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah,
because this means that they're going to not only focus on the single player, which is the primary focus of all the Red Dead games, but they're probably going to put a lot more work into the online than they did in the original Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, this article points out that Nintendo's Mario series has sold more overall copies over the last 3 decades, but profitability-wise, nothing comes close to this. Mm-hmm. I think it's a wild outlier, is what it says. It's not that Rockstar won't have other big hits. It may, but another GTA 5 isn't likely. Michael Jackson had a lot of hit albums, but he had only one Thriller.
Yeah.
And it is, yeah, it's the idea that you don't need to just gouge people on a microtransaction. There's nothing that you need to buy in that game that
requires you to pay money.
Yes, I don't have as big a problem with Grand Theft Auto's microtransactions like we did with Battlefront 2, where it was breaking the game because you needed these things to play, or else you would just be dominated. Yes, there are people who have ridiculous weapons and ammo in Grand Theft Auto, but it's never really killed my experience. Like if there's some asshole going around just killing everybody in his helicopter or whatever like that, you just leave that and you go into another one, and then
you go to another map,
you're good.
Or you whip out a homing rocket and you blow his helicopter up.
Yeah,
like there's a defense for everything.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, can you spend a shitload of money? Yeah, I really want the Batmobile. No, I'm not going to pay $30 to buy shark credits to buy it.
Yeah,
I'm just not. And I have the control that I can say no, I'm not going to do that. But apparently, some people don't. And that's a whole other issue that we've talked about 1,000 times about where are these kids using their transactions to buy stuff like this.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the difference between this and the more predatory practices that Activision and Warner Brothers and EA use. And it's that none of this is randomized. So
yes.
If you want something in Grand Theft Auto and you decide that you want to spend real life money for it, you buy the in-game currency, and then you buy the item that you want.
And that's it.
There's no chance. There's no roulette wheel. There's no fucking slot machine. There's no random number generation. You pay money, you get what you paid for. And while I do think that even these types of microtransactions can be exploitative of players, this is much more ethical than, like I said, that what Warner Brothers and Activision and EA were doing.
And if you got to look at it from this way, hey, I know I'm blowing my load over here for Grand Theft Auto here, because it is great. All of their content, all the games and the add-ons, it's all free.
Yeah, everything that's for Grand Theft Auto Online is free. Mm-hmm.
They don't make you pay for any DLC.
Yep.
But if you want to keep playing, there's been for example, I wanted to get the Tron bike really bad. And I was like, man, I wish I could just buy the thing. No, you had to play a couple levels of a certain match type, and then it becomes unlocked. That's how the game works. That's why I just don't understand.
Exactly. The bike itself is not behind a paywall.
One of my favorite YouTubers is Dreamcast Guy. He's a really cool sounding, like, nice guy, but he's got a problem with the microtransactions in Grand Theft Auto. He thinks that it breaks the game and it makes it less fun to play. And I you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
I just don't necessarily agree with it. I just don't see why that is a bad thing. Like, yeah, there are microtransactions in the game, but I've never been sitting there like, man, this is impossible. I'll never be able to reach this. Like,
I have to do a microtransaction.
Yeah,
you never reach that point.
If I sat down and grinded, yeah, I could get that goddamn thing, but I just don't. They're not that interested. It's an in-game car.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna use every once in a while, but.
Yeah, it's like a novelty thing, and you're willing to, while you're playing the game, you're doing the work anyways, unless you just drive around and do nothing.
Yeah, if you don't play the game.
If you actually play the game, you'll be able to get this shit eventually, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, and if you want to spend a little bit to get it, I don't see what the big deal is. I understand the reasoning, but just remember, it's not like any of these are like, hey, in order to buy this car, you need to have the extra great white shark megalodon extra extreme card that's only available when you buy it in-game with in-game money. That does not exist in the game.
Yeah.
You can buy that, but
exactly. Like I said, there's no paywalls.
Yeah, there's no paywalls, I don't believe. Nothing. I don't believe any of this is unethical, so I think congratulations, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I think you're one of the best games that's ever been made. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of the story mode in Grand Theft Auto. I mean, Trevor was an awesome character.
Yeah, I completely had no interest in Grand Theft Auto 5 at all.
But
I think because I bought it knowing that it was going to be Los Santos and just the map. There was areas of the map that I recognized, and there's other areas of the map that I'm like, there's supposed to be a whole nother area here that's just gone.
Well, Grand Theft Auto Online is just what everybody's been wanting since Grand Theft Auto 3. I remember that's all I wanted. I'm like, man, could you imagine if they did an open world version of this where other people who are in real life are running around? And they did it. And it's my childhood fantasy. Grand Theft Auto Online was my childhood fantasy when I had a PS2.
I wish it had the whole map from San Andreas.
Wasn't there rumors that they were going to put that in there?
Yeah, they were going to put a bridge that would go over to the second half of the
Hey, I mean, with
map,
all the,
and they never did.
Yeah, but hey, with all the free content that they're living off of Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, who knows? They could eventually.
I mean, I think they're probably going to slow down work on Grand Theft Auto 5.
Why would you at this point, though?
Because they got a whole new game coming out that they're going to focus on, that they're going to have to they're at least, they're going to attempt to recreate this business model with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, maybe, but I think it's limited what you can do. You're limited to the West, unlike with Grand Theft Auto 5. I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to survive.
You think?
I think they're going to. I think it's.
I guess you're right. Like, because how many different breeds of horses can you have?
Yeah, and how much differently are they gonna like maneuver?
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to see flying cars, you're not going to see helicopters, you're not going to see AKs, you're not going to see any of that shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a limit that you can do with Red Dead, I think. And I think that what they're going to do is they're going to have Red Dead out, and they're going to try to, I think it wouldn't shock me if Rockstar tries to have two. A classic Westerner, while also having Grand Theft Auto 5. And then every once in a while being like, okay, we got Red Dead Redemption out, and it sells well, and they're going to have one team work on all their stuff, and then they're going to be like, hey, guess what? Whoop! Vice City's here now, guys, in Grand Theft Auto Online. And then they're going to come back to Grand Theft Auto for a little bit, and blah, 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 back and forth. That's what I think they should do, but it's just all about would they be spreading their team too thin by having half of it work on Red Dead and half of it work on that?
I think after the games are done, that makes sense.
Yeah, after they're done, they're going to put all their resources into Red Dead out to get it working.
Yeah, to get it off the ground first. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I kind of see where you're going with that.
I just think that would be a smart. I just don't see why you would stop working on something that's making you hand over fist money.
That's true.
I just don't.
For minimal work. I mean, most of the stuff they add is just a slight bit of programming. For most of the cars that don't have special features, you basically they could make the 3D model, put in the parameters into an already existing program. Like, it can go this fast, it weighs this much, the physics affect it in this way, spit it out, and fucking, there you go, it's out there. That content's there. It's easy peasy.
Yeah.
Like
Easy.
for the flying car or the fucking submarine car or any of that shit that has special features in it, they got a program. But there's not much they have to do for the normal content that they add.
Yep, pretty much. That's I kind of... There's not much else that can really be said. You pretty much just summed it up right there. All right, Adam, we're going to be going into some of our movie news this week, and we're going to lead off with the first one, is that It, Chapter 2, is lining up James McAvoy and Bill Hader to be cast as the older versions of some of the kids in the movie. Did you happen to see It?
No.
Did you not?
No, I didn't.
It definitely was a really well-welcomed horror film. I mean, horror's just been kind of making a comeback recently with A Quiet Place, Get Out, and It. It was just... I shit on the idea of a It remake for the longest time, thinking like, yeah, clowns are creepy, but what is this going to be, another Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street or those horrible Halloween remakes? Like, no, I think what they did was they crafted this with a lot of love and a lot of care, and it made bank. That movie made so much. It made $700 million worldwide on a budget that I believe wasn't... Oh, let me look. It budget. Let's see what this budget was. How much did they fucking make on this thing? It movie budget. On a $35 million budget, they made $700 million worldwide on this thing.
That's pretty good.
And all those kids were really... The kids all acted really well in it. They had the one kid from Stranger Things, the main kid who's like in love with Eleven. So, so what they already have is
What's his name? Wolfhard. Something.
I forget his name. Finn Wolfhard. Wow, good on you with that one. So what they're saying is James McAvoy would take the adult version of Bill, who in the series grows up to become a horror writer that's been traumatized by what happened to his brother Georgie all those years before. And while Bill Hader, who is the comedian, would meanwhile pick up to work as a disc jockey in Los Angeles, who would be the adult version of the smart aleck attitude and foul-mouthed humor, which was Wolfhard.
Yeah.
So that I think is... I love that they're adding, like... Because these kids were relatively nobodies. Yeah. And they already have Jessica Chastain pretty much lined up to play the adult version of Beverly. And that's the one that everyone was like, man, she looks just like Jessica Chastain. Or get Amy... what's her name? She was in
Smart?
like... It's not Amy Smart. I was thinking it was Amy Smart. She was in Arrival. She's... Man, why am I not thinking of her name? She's super talented. Amy Adams. She's super talented, but they were saying her for Beverly or Jessica Chastain. I was like, pick either one, because both Jessica Chastain and Amy Adams are super good actors. James McAvoy is incredible. We've seen him in a couple things. I saw him in that Split. He was insanely good in that. You saw him as Professor X. He's great in those movies. Mm-hmm. So definitely, James McAvoy is a great person. I think Bill Hader's a good choice for the I keep forgetting the kid's name.
Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, Finn Wolfhard. His name's Richie in the It movie. So I'm really excited if they actually add those names and you have those three powerhouses right now. I actually consider Bill Hader a pretty solid actor. You add those ones in there. This It Chapter 2 is going to be great if they keep it up, because they definitely check out It. I don't know how big of a horror guy you are, but
I mean, I'm not huge. I prefer like psychological stuff more to gore horror. But
yeah, well, I
think It fits that model. I mean, I like the original. So
yeah, it's definitely not like a gory film by any means. It is more of like, holy shit, this is creepy and this is weird. But then with that description, you definitely would really like A Quiet Place. So definitely maybe think about checking that out. So good news on It Chapter 2. So we'll go on to our next topic, which is that Disney's live action Mulan has now cast Jet Li, Gong Li, and Donnie Yen in their new movie. And this is getting me pretty excited for this movie. So they're saying that Donnie Yen has been cast as the commander in the Chinese army. And they're saying that Jet Li will play the Emperor of China. And they're saying that Gong Li is actually going to be the villain. From what I'm hearing, let me see if this is true. I think it said that they cast her, which would be interesting because they would be replacing the bad guy from the original Mulan, who I honestly thought was the major weakness. There it is. She's going to be playing the villain Shenmue, the leader of the Huns. No. That was Shenmue was the bad guy in Mulan. I never knew his name because he was the most forgettable Disney villain I think I've ever seen. But changing the villain to a woman should create a brand new dynamic for the live action take. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with this Screen Rant article that I'm reading off of here. And she's great from. What was she originally in? Was she in what's the name of that film? Crouching Tiger. Yeah. She was in that, right?
She was the villain in that one, wasn't she?
I think so, wasn't she? Yeah, I believe so. Let me see. Gong Li.
Pretty sure she was the villain in Crouching Tiger.
Oh, wait. Maybe it's Curse of the Golden Flower that I'm thinking of with her in. I don't know if she was in Crouching Tiger. She might not.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm looking. I don't think she was, man. I think let's see. Crouching. No, she is not from Crouching Tiger. She is Curse of the Golden Flower. Empress Phoenix from Curse of the Golden Flower. I don't know if she was the bad guy in that, but either way, she's definitely known. She's done like martial arts things. So apparently that this Mulan film's been pushed back a little bit further, but hey, I mean, I think with this one they can do a little bit more with it, unlike they did with the Beauty and the Beast one, which I thought was actually a pretty big disappointment. Like I liked it when I first came out of it, but then when I thought about it, I'm like, man, they just really just didn't do it the way I was hoping they would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Mulan is not a really it's not that I'm not going to say this. It's definitely not well appreciated. It's just that it's the lesser known. Like when you think of name your top 5 Disney movies, Mulan most of the time does not. While I love the soundtrack to Mulan and I love the atmosphere of Mulan, I like Eddie Murphy as the dragon. Can we get maybe Eddie Murphy back as the voice of the dragon? Because they're Mushu. Because they're bringing back James Earl Jones as the voice of Mufasa in the Lion King version. Yeah. So, hey, I think that this is a great idea. Why not add these like legendary? Get these Chinese actors in there. Donnie Yen being included. Yeah. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So that's never a bad thing.
Do you think that they're going to record this film in English?
I think they're going to have to. Yeah, I would assume so. Just because you need to make this as approachable as possible and kids, and this is probably going to be like a PG-13 PG rating. You gotta make it.
Yeah, kids aren't going to read.
Kids aren't going to sit there and read. They might not. Some kids can't read.
Yeah, they're too young.
They're too young to really read it, so they just kind of visualize it. It might be. Yeah. I think that this is definitely going to be in English, and maybe with like, perhaps maybe
a foreign language.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised for China that they record like a Chinese version, because I mean, I believe most of these people can speak Chinese, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do a Chinese dub.
I don't know about Eddie Murphy.
Well, not Eddie Murphy, but that'd be pretty funny if he learned Chinese.
What if they just take his lines and dub the whole line, but leave Eddie Murphy saying "hey"?
So like it would just be like typical Chinese, and they'd be like, "Hey,
Yeah, the Eddie Murphy, like
They just leave him saying it every single
comical
time.
voice. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh God, that sounds ridiculous.
they're not going to do that.
No, hell no, they're not going to do that. I don't even know if they're going to get Eddie Murphy, but I
hope they do.
I think they should too. I think Eddie Murphy is like really famous for either doing the voice of that dragon, Mushu, or the donkey. Like if they did a remake of Shrek, can they do another voice for that donkey? I don't know. It seems like I just think it would be a cool idea. I think I think fans would like it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. Like if they did another Shrek, if they replaced Shrek's voice, I don't think I would care.
I don't think I would care either. Like I don't think Mike Myers is as like. I know people are like, oh, Mike Myers and he's Shrek. I'm like, yeah, but you're telling me that's like. He just talks like this. Like, it's not that hard. And I'm not even going to try to do Eddie Murphy.
Fuck no. You can't do Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy.
I mean, you could, but the whole thing is like, it would be obvious that you're not Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, Disney, I know you're listening to the GTAS podcast right now, but...
Of course you are.
Why don't you just throw us a little bit of a bone here and just maybe
give us Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, throw us a bone so we can throw Eddie Murphy a bone, and give him a role back as Mushu. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam.
Get that man some money.
Yeah, get him some money because man, he really I think is hurting right now. So Adam, going on to our last topic of the day, which is the second Solo trailer dropped. Did you get a chance to see this thing yet?
No.
You have not. I've seen it maybe like 5 times, so we're going to take our quick...
Nerd!
I'm literally wearing a Star Wars hat. Why do you...
Nerd!
What else is there? Do I not have any Star Wars shit on the front here?
You got a Star Trek one.
I got Star Trek. I got the Enterprise, which is awesome. I mean, I love that. But yeah, I guess I don't actually have any Star Wars stuff up here. I have the TARDIS, but... Weird. I could have swore I would have had something Star Wars related. Go figure.
I think you used to. Didn't you used to have an X-Wing somewhere?
Did I?
We got a snow speeder down here.
Oh, okay, we got something, but that's on your side. I feel like I should have something more Star Wars related. Oh, what am I talking about? I got Lando right here.
Yeah, Lando.
Lando! Speaking of the Solo trailer. So,
More
Lando. Adam, we're going to take our break real quick, and we're going to watch this, and we'll give you our in-depth analysis of it when we get back. All right, and we are back. Adam, we just got a chance to watch not only just the Solo trailer, but we also watched this small little crew TV spot, showed a little bit of extra footage.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it. Adam, what's your first take on it? What do you think? Any reservations, concerns? Did you like the trailer? What did you think?
The trailer looks good. I don't know, like I have a little bit of cautious feelings about any of the Star Wars properties now because Disney's been making a lot of mistakes, but I wouldn't say that they're making bad films.
What do you think? What do you mean by that? I'll go in depth with you about this. So I have no problem. But what do you mean? What do you think Disney's making mistakes about? Some of their choices?
Yeah. I just think some of their choices in terms of where they're taking the story or introducing characters that they don't necessarily flesh out. They kill them too early, or how they're killing characters that have been longtime series staples, or
you know what?
I just have some problems with some of the choices that they're making, and I want to see this. I want it to be good, and I'm just cautiously optimistic about it, or cautiously neutral about it. Does that make sense?
I actually had a lot of reservations going into it. I didn't think that it's still taking me a little bit of time. It's growing on me, but it still doesn't really feel like Han Solo to me. Alden Ehrenreich. He is apparently a really good actor. Apparently he was in this movie that was kind of garbagey called Hail Caesar, but he was like a standout performer in there. Mm-hmm. So it's not about whether Alden Ehrenreich can act. But I think
the Coen brothers made Hail Caesar.
They did.
Yeah.
Not.
Damn.
I know.
I didn't hear anything about it. It came out and then just disappeared.
Yeah, I heard it was terrible.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Coen brothers. Hey, I got my
every once in a while you have a flop.
Yeah, I know, and I got my close ties to the Coen brothers, so I can't say that everything they do is good, but
Mm-hmm.
So here, okay. I have a lot of reservations. Here's my biggest issue with the Solo trailer, and it is nothing. This trailer's great. I think the trailer's really good, and I think the trailer really shows off a lot of potential that this movie has. But I guarantee this movie called Solo is going to be hey, you remember how awesome Chewie and Lando were in this movie? And not really talk about Han Solo. I have a feeling. I just feel like everyone's going to come out of this movie being, man, Chewie's hilarious. Lando's so cool and he's funny. And I just feel like the side characters are more entertaining than Han Solo. And that shouldn't really be. If the
movie's about him.
Yeah. All I'm sitting there is, man, I'm like, man, I want to see more Lando. Man, I want to see more Chewie. What's going on with Emilia Clarke in this movie? She's from Game of Thrones. But I don't sit there and I'm like, man, Han Solo, he's just selling this for me. That's my only reservation. I'm obviously going to see this its first night because it's Star Wars, so why would I not? Star Wars is it probably is my favorite franchise of all time. And I just that's my only concern. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
None of the trailers feel like they're Solo. I'm like, I don't know. I sit there and I go and I read and everyone's all like, oh man, Chewie's gonna be great in this movie. Let me
put it to you this way. I have a strong feeling that this film will be able to wash the taste of the giant space cat car chase scene out of my mouth.
The what?
From the last Star Wars film.
The
space cat car chase scene.
The Canto Bite bullshit thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think this looks better than that scene for sure. I don't think although there's a giant tentacle monster again in this movie. I don't know if you saw it in the trailer.
Yeah, let's just hope that they fly past it and that's it.
I know, I'm tired of this. The one thing I don't give a shit when anyone says, The Last Jedi didn't have a goddamn tentacle monster. What is up with the tentacle?
It kind of did.
What?
That hole on the Jedi planet, it kind of had
it
was reminiscent of a tentacly monster.
I know that's the only thing, but they were not a living creature. I kind of thought that they were like vines or something like that. I thought they were. I actually thought that myself, but no, there was no stupid tentacle monster in it, and no one seems to give the Last Jedi that
credit for not having
tentacle monsters. But no, now there's a tentacle monster in this. Like, what is up with this? What's up?
Laziness.
But they just keep doing it. They just keep doing these dumb tentacle monsters that are like horribly CGI'd. I cannot figure out for the life of me how they're doing that. So yeah, I think the trailer looks really good. I do like that the music isn't straight up like John Williams score. It does feel a little bit different. It does feel like a very Western style.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got from these trailers. That
constant shots of him about to unholster the gun.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But and I think the movie looks really good actually. But that's my only concern. I'm going to say my biggest concern is that it looks like the supporting characters are going to... I think
that's a valid concern.
I think they're going to overshadow Han Solo, and that's not what I want. I love Han Solo. I want Han Solo to be the coolest one in the room. But it looks like it's going to be Lando and Chewie.
Yep.
Because every single comedy... The only part that I was like, the trailer, I was like, oh my God, that's a definite Han Solo moment, was when... Han Solo looks at Chewie and he goes, what do you think? And Chewie does and he's like, yeah, well, what do you know? Like that felt like Han Solo to me.
Yeah.
But like also like Chewie just, I think the biggest not the biggest, but it's a minor complaint that I think a lot of people had in The Last Jedi and also a little bit on The Force Awakens is that Chewie just doesn't really have a lot to do. He's just there. He doesn't do anything. And I clearly think that this is going to show Chewie doing stuff like he totally grips that soldier, slams him right on his face. Chewie clearly is going to be like the comedy relief because he's playing. I don't know
because there's a chemistry between the character of Han Solo and Chewie that just isn't there. I think I see what you're saying. Like there's no Chewie doesn't have a chemistry with anybody in the new Star Wars films now because Han Solo is dead.
Yes. And maybe they'll try to build that a little bit with Rey, but I think by the third one, it's like, is there really any point at this?
Yeah, it's a little late in the game.
Yeah, it's a little late, I think. But I do like there's a scene in the second trailer, the little like mini minute one, where he like shows him the cards and he's like kind of like hinting like, what do you think? And Chewie just goes, oh God, like you could just tell in the voice. And that's what I liked. That's what I actually liked the most about this trailer was that
it showed off that chemistry between the
it
two
showed off
characters.
that chemistry, but I think the best part about it was that it actually showed like the emotion and like in Chewie's language. Like you don't know what he's saying, you don't have subtitles because Chewie's never had subtitles.
Yeah.
But you know what he's saying by his like inflection. You can guess what he's kind of saying, and that's what I like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Emilia Clarke's character is gonna be, if they're gonna. Because she's not the same character that like says like she falsely marries, but I mean she could be like his one flame. It's not like, let's not pretend like Han Solo was squeaky clean guy when it came
got to Leia.
Yeah, let's not pretend like he didn't have a little bit of experience. So maybe this could just be like his like first big flame that he really is all about.
Yeah,
doesn't really doesn't really bode well for her surviving this movie.
Yeah.
Just saying, because where is her character anywhere else? Unless she's gonna be.
Well, unless he just ditches her.
He could just ditch her. He may just think
He's supposed
he's the
to be a scummy guy. Yeah.
He's a scum guy with a heart of gold, though. Come on,
Yeah.
like he does have a heart.
Yeah, but he might just like ditch her because he feels like he's a danger to her. Who knows
That's
what
true.
his motivations are going to be?
This might also be his turning point in the Star Wars franchise, where he goes from, optimistic guy going, "Hey, I have a good feeling about this," to the events of this movie that kind of turns him into the Han Solo that we know, where he's just kind of like, "Yeah, I'll gun you down. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll gun you down. I'll leave a tip and I'll walk out of this bar. I don't give a shit."
Yeah.
So maybe that's what this movie is going to be. Color me very excited, because now I'm actually excited for this movie. I was not really excited for it leading up to the first couple of trailers. I was kind of like, yeah, the trailers are okay, but I still have some reservation. Besides that, I think the movie is going to be cool. Yeah. I think I have good hopes for the movie being well received and being well liked. It's just my little tiny concern about, Han Solo being overshadowed by everybody else.
Yeah.
Because everybody else seems to have a much more of a personality than Han Solo does.
Yeah.
At least in this movie. Because I think that Han Solo in the original franchise stood out because everybody else in it's like a goody two-shoes. And he was the one that was kind of like the dark horse.
Yeah.
Kind of like an anti-hero almost.
Yeah.
But in this, when he's with all these either scumbags or bad guys, he doesn't seem like, he seems like the most naive and most innocent of them all. So I don't know how they're gonna take that. But you got Ron Howard as the director, which is great, and Donald Glover looks great as Lando. That line where he's just like, everything that you heard about me is true. That and the might want to buckle up, baby. That was definitely that was a perfect Billy D line.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself. Kudos to you guys for whoever wrote that line, because that's very much a Billy D line.
Yeah.
Like, I could have seen him. What I want to see, I don't think they'll ever mention it. What would you think? I'll give it over or under 30%. That they mention something with a Colt or a 45 with Lando. Do you think they'll do anything with that? Do you think they'll mention anything like, oh yeah, that's my 45, or that's my Colt? What do you think?
Maybe.
Over or under 30?
Probably under 30%, because I can't think of a context where that would work in space.
Well, like, hey, let me get another 45, and he gets a drink.
I don't know. Is there a space drink that's called a 45?
I don't fucking know. They can make it up. I don't give a shit. Just get a Colt 45. Get Lando to do a Colt 45. I've seen cosplayers that just literally have a Colt 45 in their holster.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's hilarious. I mean, I thought about doing that with mine, but I try to do a little bit more authentic. I need to bust out that costume again soon. We're gonna have to bring out we're gonna bring out White Lando again soon. White Lando. Oh my god! I didn't even realize it.
What?
I just realized that. Why don't I go to the movie as that? Why don't I go to the Han Solo movie as White Lando?
Do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh, man. I wonder how great that would be. White Lando going to the Han Solo movie. Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be a maybe. I doubt it. I always slink out at those ones. I punk out when it comes to some of those things.
Yeah.
But hopefully I get the nerve, and maybe it depends on who I'm going with. If I'm going by myself, then, which I doubt it, but if I go with like you or by myself, I'll probably wear the costume. But if I go with like Katie or something like that, she's not gonna want to sit there. She'll want to sit there with a stormtrooper helmet on her head. Like, I'm not with this guy. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, that's the final topic of the day. Do you got anything else you want to add?
I mean, we got the Infinity War in 2 weeks.
Got Infinity War in 2 weeks. I got my tickets for that.
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't?
I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah, I know. You're not. I got it.
I don't rush to the theaters for most stuff.
Yeah, I think you were only there.
I did for like
Spider-Man.
Black Panther and Spider-Man. That was it.
Yeah, Infinity War is gonna be. You got to get to see it soon. We want to talk about it.
True.
How are we gonna talk about it?
True. I'll try to see it the first week it's out.
Okay. I might do an early Infinity War review because I don't know. I might just want to get that out there and like do a spoiler-free review, just an initial reaction to it, or maybe I'll
just do it with SpongeBob.
Just talk to SpongeBob over there. Yeah. Oh, maybe I could do that. You never know. Oh, Adam. Sorry. Oh, man, it was a rough night last night. Adam, why don't you tell people where they can find us? You're part of the podcast.
This is the only thing that I do.
Yeah, you don't do anything else.
Fuck off.
Take up my air.
So you can find us at www.facebook.com/GTAS podcast. That's the Facebook page. Twitter is the same thing. Twitter.com/GTAS podcast. We're available on YouTube, which if you're watching this on a video, it's embedded there. So just go ahead and click our link and subscribe to us. And I guess there's this little bell thing that you have to click now. Otherwise, it doesn't tell you when we have new videos.
Huh,
Fucking
weird.
Stupid.
That is dumb.
Yeah, we're also available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play.
And that's in the link below the video.
Yeah. If they wanted to search for us, would they just search GTAS Podcast?
No, if they wanted to search for us on iTunes, they would have to do guys talking without the G, about, and then the $, the hashtag, the exclamation point, and at the @ logo. So exactly as you see it, it's kind of confusing. I tried to do it on the GTAS, but if you just type it in exactly as you see it on the bottom here, right at the bottom of on the logo at the beginning, you'll get us. But honestly, it's just easier to just go down to the options right below and find us that way.
Yeah,
So,
I suppose it would be. What
yeah.
the fuck? Why'd you do it that way?
I don't know. I just kind of thought it would be easier to just do.
Yeah, I
because
suppose
that's the GTAS is the abbreviated version.
Yeah,
so,
true.
You know, someone could look up GTAS podcast, but then they don't know what the GTAS stands for, and so I just kind of did it as the guys talking about shit. But who cares? Just look it up right there.
Yeah, just click the link.
Click the link.
It's
And
easy.
I have each link to whatever version you want to listen to, so it's easier that way. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, until next time, that'll be it for today's GTAS podcast. GTAS podcast. And until next time,
See you.
farewell. Don't get captured. All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Adam.